Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Alliant Motorsports Americas. This is Division 3.2, and the very first race of the weekend is in Italy. We are here at Monza, one of the greatest tracks on the F1 calendar. The Italian Grand Prix is it is the longest running Formula One Grand Prix in history. It has been held over 90 times through various tracks, but is most historically known for this track, Monza. Italy, the home began by Romulus and Remus, the famous historical figures, sucking on the teat of a wolf, which is the national animal of this great country. And I am joined in the booth today by my good friend and buddy, Biggles. How are you doing today, Biggles?
Good, mate. Thank you very much for the combination. It's good to be in the air-conditioned environment in the booth with you rather than sweating it down in the pit lane. Also trying to dodge the cars from trying to run me over. I'm not sure what the pot is at the moment, but I'm sure it's getting up there. Hit the Biggles and get a jackpot. But anyway, yes, love to be back to Italy. It was a nice flight too, a little bumpy from Australia, but we eventually got here and we're on the way to qualifying.
Indeed, as we have our first few drivers about on their hot laps, I believe, at the moment. We can go on board here with True Knight, who is leading this pack. And this is the fastest track on the F1 calendar, flat out for the vast majority of the circuit, as Venom sets the very first time, and we'll see what True Knight is able to do here in one moment. And we have 16 drivers on the grid right now. I think we'll have a few more join. They will show up for the race starting at the back of the grid. But it's quite ironic that we have 16 on the grid because 17 is an unlucky number in Italy. So no one wants to be the 17th. Yes, no one wants to be the 17th driver on the grid.
I'm going to call you the walking Wikipedia. Ezzy, the walking Wikipedia, has all the facts, doesn't he? So
yes.
Does Mr. Sir, or is it True Knight, can he be knighted? No, he doesn't.
I don't think for that lap time he'll be knighted anytime soon. As Apocalypse is rounding the famous Parabolica.
What are you guys saying, Rez? Who's drunk? Am I drunk? What are you talking about? I'm only drinking Heineken 0.000 recurring.
Wow. Remember, as part of the F1, when you drink, never drive.
Exactly.
It's brought to you by Heineken. Zero alcohol.
Yep. Checks in the mail.
Those two things don't really mix, though. Why would you advertise a zero alcohol beer if your slogan is if you drink, never drive?
I thought I was the only one that thought about that. Glad at least I'm not the only crazy one. That makes perfect sense. Exactly. I totally agree with you.
Seems strange to me.
Well,
maybe some of the marketing geniuses in the chat have the answer to that question.
Yeah, resized and R-Craft. A lot of people invalidate in that lap. You know the crucial point. Where is the point that most of the drivers do invalidate?
It is most definitely through the turns 6 and 7 in Sector 2. And also then through the fast chicane 8, 9, 10. I can't, for some reason, the name of it is off the top. I can't remember it off the top of my head. As we see Shiv go through it right now on screen. And I think he's heading back to the pits himself. Looks like Boehner is going a hot lap. As you can see here, it's going through these corners. It's so easy. You want to carry as much speed as you can. You can go up, onto that curb and invalidate your lap pretty easily through that. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, resized. My microphone is not. I don't know for sure if it's any different. Do I sound different to you, Ezzy?
You do sound much different, actually. I will tell you.
Oh, I don't have the reverb on, do I?
No. Thankfully you didn't, and that just made it worse. As Boehner looks to have the medium tire compound, so very interesting. Let's go on board with him here as he begins. He went a little bit wide. Let's see if we can go on board with him. Does he have his telemetry? Does not look like he does, so we won't be able to use that actually tonight. As he goes into the first braking zone, so easy to lock up, and it's so hard to get that correct, and he's loose on the rear, and that cost him 2/10 right away.
Yeah, I still have got no time at the moment, but he's still not across the first sector anyway.
Yep.
So he should be right now crossing there And if the information comes in, we'll see what he did. 26.6, not his
As he's
personal best.
into the gravel, as he could make the corner, and that is the end of his hot lap. Let's go on board with Javier, who passed him as he went into the gravel. And let's see. Yes. All the way up into 8th gear. You're in 8th gear, probably the most definitely more than any track. Braking right at the 100, carrying as much speed as you can, cutting that apex, and he compromised it. Didn't hit the apex into turn 9 and disqualified it out of the turn 10. So not
Ouch.
really a good bit. You can just see that's the spot where people disqualify their lap times. Big
Yeah.
Lovins, the last driver who had yet to set a time, has spun. I'm trying to think of where he is at here on track.
Yeah.
Looks like
He
he came out of the little chicane there and lost
Yeah,
his
the
car.
S's, the
So,
last S's. So do you think whether or not Xavier or Big Lovins likes pineapple on your pizza? Do you like pineapple on your pizza? That's the question.
no, is the simple answer. Pineapple on pizza is a sacrilege, and if you do such things, no matter if you don't believe in God, you will go to hell.
Well, you know, well, I don't know. Maybe Branda likes pineapple on his pizza because he set the fastest lap still. Is he going to improve? No, he's not. But, well, you can't be that hard on pineapple. What's wrong with pineapple?
Pineapple's good. It's a great
Just
fruit. I guess it's technically a fruit. It is a fruit, I think. It's always interesting to think about. So many vegetables are actually fruits. But
obviously, you
there's-
would like pepperoni on your pizza, right? I guess that's
of
a
course,
favorite.
of course. Even Canadian bacon, or ham as it should be called,
I like the Canadian bacon.
is
too.
fine.
We have similar bacon.
but putting pineapple with it is just sad.
So Canadian bacon is very much like British and Australian bacon, right? You don't just overcook it and fry it and burn it, shall we say, like the American bacon.
American bacon is a different completely cut of meat.
Yeah, yeah.
As Venom, can you look up the name of? I feel horrible for not knowing the name of turns not 8 through 10.
Sure.
I need to know
let me
that
get
for
my
the race.
assistant. Let me get my Biggles assistant onto that.
As Venom goes through the Parabolica to the finish. And let's see how he does. He improves by 0.8 and moves up into, well, P5, now P6. As AJ goes second overall with a 120 flat. Sorry.
You went flat on that 120 flat.
Holy goodness. I apologize. My voice quit functioning. As Addy Striker's not doing. I'm trying to find someone on the hot lap of them. It looks like Giants is just rounding the final turn.
So which is the turn you wanted to know the name of?
The 8, 9, 10 is the little chicane.
Okay, 8,
I'm
9,
sure
10
someone
is
in chat will know. As
Curve de Valerdo, Valano, and Ascari. That's the one.
Ascari, that's it.
Yep.
I knew that was it. Let's see here. Looks like Big Lovins is going to start the hot lap soon.
The ship's time.
See, Anonymous knows what's going on.
He's very anonymous about his information. At least. Giggles pun again. I'm going to have plenty of them. Oh, I tell you what. I think Savage can take the trophy for that earlier in the Elliott Motorsports race. Late night racing. He had all the puns. I think he hooked up like about 10 in a row. We're going to have to see a highlight of that one.
Yeah, we need to clip that and provide it for our highlight video.
Yeah, he's dethroned me for the bad puns. He's got it all.
And of course, a special welcome to Stevie Gaming. Appreciate it. He's racing tonight, and hopefully his Fanatec gear brake pedal will function as intended this time around. But
Stevie is the number one fan, isn't he? And he has Fanatec? Well, being a fan, he has Fanatec, I guess, right? Boom, boom. There's another bad one. Where is Stevie at the moment? P12.
P12, so not home race for the Alfa Romeo, I suppose. So not great for him.
It sounds like you need to hydrate a little bit, bro.
Yeah, well, I had a soccer game earlier that I was playing in, and let's just say I leave it out on the field, and It was.
Let's see if Munz is gonna. Sorry, to interrupt. Munz is gonna leave it out the field. He's in the fastest second sector. He's boxing. What is with these guys? That's weird. Anyway, yeah. So you're leaving it out in the field.
Yeah, but the allergies are really bad this time of year where I'm at. So it's
Down in Texas, right?
Yes, for sure. It's easy to lose this. Most everyone's in the pit. Let's go to. Looks like Apocalypse. Can't go to him for some reason.
Have you got the
There
replays
it
working?
goes.
Want to test the replay out before we get into the race?
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's check the replay.
Because we never get time during the race because it's usually so action-packed.
Well, there's your answer. The replay is not functioning.
I have so much problems with the replay as well. It's weird. You have to
So-
actually hit record, don't you, or something? Anyway.
Well, unfortunately, we had a bit of issues with the stream. I had a bunch of issues with Streamlabs this morning, so a lot of my settings were ruined. Let's see here. Looks like Brander is on the hot lap. Let me.
Do you have the overlay, the Halo overlay everybody loves?
Yes, I do have that. We'll use that right now. Except he doesn't have his activated, so it won't work. So.
Oh, so the drivers have to turn the telemetry on, is that correct?
Exactly right. So no matter how many, hopefully you aren't by the Brain and Mobia and Austin. Well, I assume by that you meant to type something coherent with that statement,
That's the
which
father,
could be
right?
the result of the Brain amoeba in Houston. Sorry, I didn't pronounce that correctly initially. But I have not been to Houston in a while. I try to stay clear of that town, as Brander disqualifies his lap time, and as I've highlighted before, turn 6 and 7 will get you. And
Yeah, shout out there
is the
to
end of
Father.
that. Let's go on board with accounting for loss, who is a new fan favorite.
He did very well the last race, I believe, except making a little
And
error.
he
towards the
improves
end.
just a tenth, but stays in P4 for now. So
Yep.
let's see if Big Lovins has. No, Big Lovins has given up his lap.
Should we give a little run through of the standings there as well? I got it up here if you like.
Sure thing. Do bring it up.
Be updated. So Brandon's currently the man with 3 podium positions and leading the championship, 82 points. That's Brandon in the Williams. Shiv, you can see currently at the moment, bringing the challenge to Branda in the Alfa Romeo on 72 points. He's the closest in the championship battle, followed by Big Puppy on 44. And then Giants in P5. I think Smiro is in the racing tonight. Munz. It's not racing. Munz is racing. Sorry, Munz P7. So a little further down there's a little bit of a battle. But that's the two. Branda and Shiv. Watch out for these two guys. And you can see nothing between them as well.
Little advice. Well, it changed to Shiv. Let's try that again. There it goes. Thank you very much, Chinj, for that.
It's Chenjo.
Chinj. Well, that's not
I don't
how
know
it's.
what's correct. You call him Chenj and I call him Chenj. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you can let us know. Appreciate the tip. We all love the wonderful game, as it looks like we have a bit of a crowd here. It makes me wonder if these Alfa Romeos are neck to neck. I wonder if one will be giving the other a toe a bit. You don't really see that around here too often, but it's a definite possibility, as they're on the medium tires. Let's take a look at the tire compound that people have chosen so far. So it looks like softs across the board, except for a couple drivers who have gone mediums. So very, very interesting indeed.
So Chenj just said I was correct. So did I actually get a name correct? I cannot believe it. I mean, I'm the one that usually just messes up people's names. So it is officially Chen J, I
So
believe.
a bit of teamwork here by the Alfa Romeos. Oh, I take that back because shit. Where are they? They're both decided to go into the pit. I thought a bit of teamwork was going on there, but I guess
tuned into your commentary there.
they decided to box instead. So interesting little choice there. Yeah, there you go. Synchronized, not synchronized swimming, synchronized pitting. Very nice.
Do you have any other fun facts for Italy for us, Mr. Walking Wikipedia Ezzy?
Yes, there's a town in Italy where it's illegal to die, and that's because the cemetery is all filled up. So
So what do you do when you want to die? You like you go to the
you
next
probably have to
town?
move. They don't have a hospital in the town, I guess. I don't know.
So can they move your body, or that's like no, I'm sorry,
know.
you can't die here.
Yeah.
Take a number and wait.
Now Italians are very proud. Also, they claim that they are the originator of ice cream and coffee, but I think there's a good bit of disagreement over that.
Interesting.
So, let's see if
Well,
Venom.
that's good. You are a wealth of knowledge there, sir.
I do try to be.
Just don't get you just get. I mean, you get all those angles correctly, don't you, with the knowledge?
As Venom is onto the grass coming out of the chicane and has to lift a bit, compromising his angle. Let's see if he can carry more speed through here. Not really carrying as much speed as he could. We'll see if he's improved on his Sector 2 time here in a moment. DRS straights.
Vroom, like vroom. No,
What's Vroom?
is it? I thought it's vroom. Is it Venom or vroom?
I thought it was... There's no R, so I can see.
Well, we can make it up.
Oh.
Makes him go faster, right?
As he goes, he loses the rear just a bit twitchy, and that's what you get on these low downforce tracks, and he has to lift coming out of Parabolica, and that will compromise his run to the finish, and I don't think he's going to improve his time at all. No, he does not, so not good. Let's go on board with Big Lovins, who's set a purple Sector 2. He's up a half a second, so this could be the man to watch if he can get it right. A little slow there through the...
He's going to get a DRS. We'll get the DRS anyway. Fastest first and second sector personal best for him, shall we say. Brandon is going faster, but we're going to keep on board with Big Lovins, as he's going to be crossing the line very soon. Hopefully in a very loving way to improve on his P12
As
11.
he does, he improves up into P9 with
But
his
let's
time.
go on board with Branda, because Branda's lighting up the timing boards right now. 126.144
As
first sector.
That is a purple, up a 10th already. That will put him into provisional pool if he can just equal his time. Gets a bit squirrely coming out of the Ascari chicane. And we'll see if he can carry enough speed down the start-finish straight. It's always a bit... On Italy, you have all this time where you're going into straight lines, so you can take a look, a long gander at the delta time up in the top right-hand corner, and he pits. He must not have been up on this time. And
Yeah, he lost
P2.
a little bit in the second sector, but I would have thought he probably could still bring it. But
Counting for
perhaps-
loss is on a hot lap as well, just as Banner is disqualified somehow. And we'll see if he can improve his time coming to the line. And he does by a 10th, but stays P4. I'm looking to see Venom is the other driver. He's in the pits. Synth now is the last man, along with Muniz. See if Muniz improves here. Muniz does improve up to P5. Great time from him. His teammate has all the work to do as he is short shifting up through Parabolica. And he crosses the line, improves by 3.5, but stays P13. So that should be all she wrote at the moment, as we just wait for a few drivers to retire in the pits.
So, unless there was a bad call, the pit lane, but somehow Shiv on mediums, just like 8/1000ths of a second, put branded Branda with the fastest lap of qualifying.
All right. Apologies. We will cut away for a moment while I look to fix the replay.
Yep, takes me a glove. So is it the red cable, the blue cable, the pink cable, or the purple cable? I can't remember. I'll plug it in for you.
I think it's magenta is what they call it.
Oh, magenta.
I could be
I'm
wrong.
not colorblind, trying to mix all these cables around.
It's tough to keep them all in order for honest
So yeah,
here.
at the moment you guys can't see it in the commentary box, but Ezzy is down underneath trying to, you know, it was like when you're in the back of the computer trying to plug these cables in.
All
That's
right.
what he's trying to
We'll
do.
do
at the
it. We'll do a test here in a moment. So Brander gets disqualified, driving the wrong way. Sorry, Banner, not Brander. So very, very interesting, and we're just waiting for Shiv and Immaculips to realize that they don't need to
Well,
sit
Shivs is in the box.
in the pits for very much longer. So let's
Yep.
take a look. Let's see if we can. Let's check the replay out. Will it work?
I wonder if Shiv is picking the bottle of
Well,
champagne
the
he wants to
replay is
taste.
partially working. We'll get that fixed here in a moment. As let's take a look at the qualifying. Shiv Brander on the front row, very, very tight, separated by less than a tenth. Then there's a bit of a gap to AJ accounting for loss, Muniz, Javier, True Knight, Big Poppy, all very, very close. Giants and Big 11s are the rest of the top 10. Look how close that gap is there in the midfield. Venom in P11 just missing out on P10 there by 0.003. Addy Striker, since Steven, Immaculips, and Banner are the rest of the drivers. Banner got disqualified there. We'll start P16. We'll have a few more drivers joining the grid here. after qualifying, and the race will be coming shortly. So this should be a very, very start. Obviously, these drivers will have to be careful going into into turn one. Don't want to see mayhem.
We don't, but I do want to see a shoey on the podium if Shiv can bring it for Australia at least. What can Brandon do about that? We shall see in a moment.
All right.
There you go.
I think I got it right. We'll be back in 1 moment with the Italian Grand Prix. Stay tuned. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Italian Grand Prix. We are here at the historic Monza, and I couldn't be more excited to see the first race of the week on this historic track. Let's take a look at that track right now. You can see the start-finish straight, 2 DRS zones, 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles if you're American. Only 11 turns. It is the fastest track on the F1 calendar. Not much of an elevation change that many drivers will notice at all. A little bit of a rise into Sector 2, but it's so flat out, no one will really care. We have 16 drivers on the grid, 27 laps for these drivers to battle it out, to figure out who can come out on top. The very famous set of chicanes, and no one will want to get too much damage into turn one. What do you think, Biggles? Do you think we'll have a safety car early on?
Well, I think a few people on Twitch, welcome everybody on the Twitch there. Rez says safety car lap 1, or he's changing his mind, or lap 3. You got to pick one or the other. Well, Italy, and we are back again. It's the 5th most visited country in the world. Really? And it also has the smallest country inside of this country. And can you guess what that is?
I believe that has to do with the Pope, if I'm not mistaken.
The Vatican. There it
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yep.
There's
Good
a lot.
call.
Supposedly, the Vatican, despite being the smallest country in the world, has a huge amount of undiscovered area because the basements of the Vatican are filled with all kinds of historical information that no one gets to take a look at. So, very interesting.
Plenty of secrets that Azzy is sharing with us. Well, Azzy, you need to get there and explore some of those. Now I want to go and explore some of those, and we'll see whether or not Shiv and Branda are going to explore the tire temperatures right now as they're getting ready to line up onto the grid. These are the 2 championship contenders. And AJ slotting into P3, accounting for losses, certainly not accounting for any loss that he has in P4. He's going to try to make it up.
Let's take a look here at the tires. Only 2 on the mediums, Steven and Addy Striker in P12 and P14. The rest going for softs. So we'll see how that strategy turns out, as it looks like the drivers are now just finishing their formation lap and are set to form up on the grid. My gracious, they have to be getting pretty excited right now.
Yeah, you need to hydrate, Mr. Ezzy, from your sock-up match before, because you got a lot of commentating ahead, especially under Italy. Predicted pit stop there, mediums or hards, what will be the choice? We shall see in only a moment.
That is a great question, as it looks like everyone should have been forming up. As here we go. The lights are going on. We have 4 lights. 5 lights. The lights are off, and away we go. Great start by the Red Bull further back. That is Big Poppy. Down the run we go. AJ is under a big swarm with the Ferrari. Branders is getting into the lead now ahead of Shiv, so making that P2. As it looks like the Ferrari and the Williams hit each other. That is not good at all. They'll go way back. The Williams is still there on the track, as we have only yellow flags so far as the McLaren of Muniz tries to go around the outside of True Knight, who's having to defend to the inside. Goes back to the racing line. Will Muniz give it a shot? He tries to, cuts the chicane though. That compromises his exit. But he does able to pull ahead True Knights, who got into the gravel just a bit. And through the chicane they will go. Will drive further back in the pack. Big Poppy, despite getting the good start here, seems to be driving a bit slowly. I don't know if he has a damaged wing at all. But his teammate Venom is right on the pack of True Knight and Muniz, who are really battling it out here. having a good go at it, and AJ is down into P15 and accounting for loss is in P14. So despite those good qualifying positions, they are well down the order at the moment.
Yeah, lots of damage on both of them. Accounting for loss, P14 and AJ having a squabble at the start there. A lot of positions lost there. Accounting for loss losing 10 positions, AJ losing 12.
As Addy Striker and Giants are side by side going into Parabolica. Who will get the better exit? Who can get the traction down through here? It looks like Addy Striker has that, even though he's on the medium tires. He is through ahead. Will he have to defend? Yes, he will. Giants is trying to go up the inside, but everyone's flat out, so tire differences don't really make much of a change here at the very end. As it looks like Bander is going up the inside there, win the racing point, and Addy Striker is, well, he was on the curb, and Bander easily gets past both of these drivers who seem to be kind of hesitant and not sure what's going on.
Yeah, my telemetry is all over the whack as you get. Generally lap 2, lap 3 at the moment, so when things settle down a bit. Luckily for you there, that it's showing everything correct.
Well, I don't think it is, as accounting for loss is in the pits. He's showing P1 for me at the moment, but that's definitely not the case. We have Shiv and Brander battling it out instead, and it's a good, tight pack further down the order as Big Poppy now is closed up. Well, I thought he was close up to his teammate, but he hasn't actually. So we'll have to wait a lap for everything to sort back out for back up, and I think it is right now. There we go. It's all back up and good, as Javier and Big Poppy are the ones battling it out at the moment.
So I'm not quite sure. I thought Brando said his fastest laps on the mediums, showing him on the softs starting the race. That's quite strange.
Indeed.
They're going to battle.
Take a look at the moment, as both AJ and Accounting for Loss must have pit because they are well back down the order, as we looks like we have a good battle here at the very end as Giants goes into the pits.
Oh, hang on, sorry to cut you off there. Izzy, Shiv and Brander are battling it out at the front there, very, very close. Shiv got Brander went really wide there, but take a look at these two guys, nothing between them as they go through.
Brander is trying to use that slipstream to his advantage. Shiv not going to defend the inside as they overlap, and Brander backs out of that one. I don't know, he wanted to challenge through the chicane. He's going to wait for DRS assistance out of turn 7 instead, as Shiv doesn't seem to be doing well, as Brander gets on the grass, and he has to lift in order to maintain control of his vehicle, and goes wide on turn 7 as well. Definitely struggling for traction right now. I'm not 100% sure exactly why, but that has allowed Shiv to escape from the very tight embrace that he was having with Brander, as Javier really has a great turn of speed with DRS now, hasn't enabled this lap, and looks like he will get past Big Poppy into the Ascari chicane and has P6 at the moment.
Brander's made a huge mistake coming out of that corner that we couldn't remember.
Ascari.
Ascari, yes, and that means Monsters got up into P2 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he has. As let's go back on board with Addy Striker, who is battling it out with Synth himself. And looks like Addy Striker will get past the driver and is now up into the point. See if he can maintain that, as he will not have DRS now, but looks like he's pulling away right now with that extra speed.
Brander's in the Williams has regained his position again after that mistake and slotted back up into P2.
Indeed. A good bit of close racing here as we have a yellow in Sector 2. It looks like a Renault of Giants is off the track. And he might get, looks like he may get lapped here at lap 4. He's retired from the session, so he is out of this race as Shiv flies past. And so we already have one driver out of the race with only 4 laps in. So no safety car yet. That's always a good thing, as Immaculate gets 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And we see the gap start to open up just a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if Giants is going to retire, go back and grab a pizza. Whether he's going to have the pineapple on the pizza or not, we shall see. But the first retirement is definitely done, as it looks like Brander got really, really wide out of Ascari, and that might cost him.
As Muniz is still trying to hunt him down. If Brander keeps on making these mistakes, he will definitely have the opportunity if he keeps his nose clean. And it's going to be very interesting to see when these drivers go to the pits. I don't have too much experience, as Muniz does pick up the DRS and is closing on Brander, who goes to the inside to defend. Muniz tries to get onto the grass to challenge down the inside as well. Side by side they go through turn 1, turn 2. Just a bit of a touch on the wheel by Muniz, but manages to back out of it, and Brander hangs on around the outside to keep on P2. This is a close battle to watch, as now they round turn 3, gaining. I don't think it will be enough unless he really commits to, and he does not, and he is playing it just a bit safe. With that DRS assistance, he's able to close that gap pretty effectively.
Yeah, this is a battle for the championship as well. Brenner cannot afford to lose any points. Shiv needs to remain in P1 to bring it to the championship as they go through the second Lesnar, I believe that is.
As we have another yellow flag in Sector 2, it looks like Amacalypse is the one struggling to get back on track as we go back to the action.
Big shot.
As Muniz is the one who gets a bit hairy coming out of Ascari, just touched the gravel a bit, and that gap opens up now to over a second, so he'll lose DRS assistance. And it looks like Addy Striker is the closest battle further back to watch.
As he mentioned before, guys, let us know on Twitch. You're all a bunch of racers, and you're all quick racers as well. How long can these stops last? And when are you going to start seeing the first pit stops?
That is a good question indeed. As Addy Striker now is half a second behind Banner, he will have DRS. Won't be enough. He's already gaining. Not even using overtake at the moment, as far as I can tell. I think Banner is, though, but he will have the run into the braking zone, but brakes very, very early for some reason. Not 100% sure why he chose to wait it out. Maybe he wasn't confident in his medium tires. He wants to make those last a bit longer, didn't want to risk a lockup. As he has a good run now as Amacalypse is having a horrid time of it.
Brandon's had a mistake.
As
he dropped down to P7.
Brander is off the track in down to P8. Let's see if he has any. It looks like he does not have any damage, but he has lost tons of positions. And
that caught Addy Striker off guard too, because he was approaching that corner and he might have saw the stricken car of Brander and had to try to do some avoiding. So that's Addy Striker also driving back. But Brander back in P9.
Incredible. As Venom now is really close up to True Knight. So very good opportunities now for these drivers to get that final podium position as they do the long run down to Parabolica. And that last podium position is wide open. Muniz, obviously, just under 2 seconds ahead of True Knight. But Shiv, out of nowhere of the past 3 races, is really putting a huge hold onto the championship here in 3.2. Really, Brander was the talk of the town here for a good while. But Shiv has now won back-to-back races and looks like he might be able to do that again today.
Bringing it for the Australian. And it looks like Verome's trying to bring it to True Knight and become the king of the castle, shall we say. But True Knight's going to have nothing to do with that.
But it's very easy to be caught by Venom. Just a small bite can really paralyze your race, so that's something that he has to consider as well. How about that? Was that better?
Yep, you've heard it there from Ezzy, a.k.a. Jeff, a.k.a. Walking Wikipedia. You got all the knowledge.
Javier dips a wheel into the gravel as well, trying to stay ahead of Big Poppy at the moment, and just the pressure of seeing someone behind you really amplifies the need to really nail the entry and exit to these corners and chicanes. There's so few corners on this track that if you don't nail each one, someone behind who does can really make you pay. So you have a long time to look at someone in the rearview mirror as they get slowly closer and closer.
The McLaren driver of Muniz right now has to try to do it, bring it to True Knight. He's got a great out of the Parabolica. Now he's going to have that slipstream. The little box opens. It gets about a 17-kilometer boost. And let's see how he takes it into the first corner.
True Knight must have gotten past Muniz at some point there. He was 2 seconds ahead initially, but he must have made a mistake of some sort because True Knight and Venom were fighting it out just a moment ago as Muniz does get past. See if he can maintain that through the long right-hander, and it looks like he may. Trying to stay in the middle of the track at the moment to force True Knight to make Muniz manages to rescue his car and stay in P2 at the time being. But True Knight sees his prey and will want to strike.
Yeah, Craft, who needs curbs when you have white lines to the grass and gravel? Question mark. Good question there. So Muniz now is backing everybody up, and it's making Shiv feel much more comfortable, leading 6.7 seconds. But this battle behind.
And 8 laps in, that gap was 5 seconds just a moment ago. Now it's 6.5. So very, very interesting. He will want Muniz to keep on backing up the pack, as True Knight will think, hey, I'll get DRS here in a second, and I can make that pass. What you can do, I can do better, is probably what he's thinking, as we have another yellow, as actually Muniz has had enough of his softs and is into the pits. So True Knight will stay out and get elevated into P2 at the moment, as Muniz and Javier and Brander all pit. So very interesting. Lap 9 was enough for the softs.
Most people predicting a soft to medium strategy, and mediums are the call.
So those mediums will have to last twice as long as the softs. So it'll be interesting to see how easily that will be done. As Steven is now behind Synth, who locked up. Those tire differences now, Steven on the medium tires, so they should now start to have more pace than the softs of Synth ahead. And we shall see if he can close that gap at all, as away they go. Venom is hanging just inside DRS range of True Knight, and probably just allowing him to help his lap times just a bit, making those softs last just a bit more, as Synth is definitely struggling right now, and Steven not really he's compromising his lines, taking a look up the inside in a spot you don't want to overtake in, and he is now just 3/10 back. Getting this chicane right will be oh so important, and he's being overly cautious, I feel. Could be a bit more aggressive through this part of the track as he now puts overtake on, but he has very little ERS left in the tank.
So interesting, the front runners choosing to stay out again, but they should too. They have the pace. They're all lapping the 124s.
As Venom gets past True Knight and is up into P2, down the start finish straight, he gets the move done, the Red Bull, and True Knight will see him disappear away into the distance. So Venom now is in P2, but will have to pit here in just a moment.
So yeah, obviously those tires have not fallen off the cliff at the moment, because those front runners are all running in the 124s. That's from P1 to P4, and then most of the other runners are running in the 25s and so forth. And then obviously with the pit stops, it's a little hard to judge what times that they were doing.
So let's take a look here at positions gained. Looks like Banner is the man. Although I will say we'll take a look at that a bit later now, as it all depends on when you pitted or not. So we'll take a bit of that once everyone has pitted, but you can just see there, the top 5 have yet to pit, and we have 2 drivers out on the mediums, 6th and 7th from the start of the race, and the rest going for those medium tires, fresh mediums at the moment, so we'll see how long those last.
I believe we're looking at around 29-second pit stops here in Italy. As the leader is going to do it, let's keep an eye on Shiv. 29 seconds. He has a lead all the way to P9. Xavier is running 28 seconds behind. So see if he can slot in front of the Haas driver running at P9. That'll be the question. Really quick stop. Good job for the Alfa Romeo team.
Let's take a look. As Shiv is just exiting the pits, it looks like his teammate Steven is the car coming out alongside. They are side by side into the braking zone, locked up his brand new set of rubber, but I think Shiv will stay in P4, so just comes out ahead of his teammate there, who will have to pit later on in the race, but he'll have fresh rubber, is the faster driver, and he won't be hung up. Maybe a little teamwork there, not going to challenge him too much into that corner, knowing that Shiv has the good chance at winning the race, and Steven is on a completely different strategy, so.
Yeah, my apologies there. Jeff gave me the wrong information. Jeff, I'm upset at you. Anyway, it's not 29 seconds, it's 24 seconds for a pit stop. And that is the reason why Shiv slotted back into P4.
There you have it, as Brander now, P9, is trying to fight his way back up the grid, and Javier is having a bit of a tough time of it, it seems. We've seen a few warnings come out for track limits. Not too many time penalties, as far as I can remember. And that with DRS, that gap will shrink now as they go up the hill. That little tunnel there is a section of the old historic track, which was a banked circuit way back in the day for the very first Formula 1 Grand Prix, as Brander is very adventurous with the turbo limits. And I believe that was a Ferrari of Addy Striker. We'll have to go back to him in a moment. There's a yellow in Sector 3, which means that Brander couldn't pass. He had the lift, and he'll wait for DRS to get past Javier instead. So the Ferrari, as Brander is all over the track, his track limits aren't something that he's too worried about, as Javier tucks to the inside, trying to break the slipstream, and it looks like that will be somewhat effective as he is able to stay into P7 at the moment. So, as I say that, there's a bit of a touch there between Brander and Javier, and Brander loses his left end plate, and will try to go around the outside still. He'll be compromised. Oh! That is him out of the race.
Oh, wow.
That was a huge impact.
Our championship leader is hopefully okay. We'll get the medical car out there as the virtual safety car is deployed. I'm sure Brander is still moving. Yes, he is. He's out of the car. That's good.
It's a virtual safety car, and we have only one thing to do, and that's to check the replay.
End plate.
Yeah. When is Vroom going to box?
And
This could
so
be the perfect.
here
Try
they
to
come
go around the
around.
outside still.
Javier
He'll be
is
compromised.
wiggling just a bit, tries to go into the middle of the track.
That is
And
him
Brander
out of the
It's just a little
race.
touch is all it takes.
This
It's a
is
very
left
interesting,
end plate,
very interesting.
and
It's a difficult
we'll
corner
try to go around
because
the
you're
outside
turning right
still.
while trying to defend and
he'll
stay
be
in line.
compromised.
There's room
Oh,
to the left of Brander there that he
that
could have
is
moved
him
over
out
to,
of
but didn't.
the race.
Very, very,
This
very
is left
interesting
end plate,
indeed.
and
So this pit stop's worked out quite well, obviously, for Venom and True Knight, putting some fresh rubber in, but guess who's back in the lead? Shiv, comfortably, after boxing the lap before, has regained the lead of this race. And he also has Stevie out there. Welcome, Stevie, back up into the points-paying positions.
Well, I'll have to listen to the slow-mo replay voice that's supposed to be muted for that, but as it is, I don't know whose fault that is. That's a very great question. I don't know if really Javier was moving. There was still lots of space to the left. It was just such a slight touch. That's all it takes is to go off. So Brander is out of the race. I don't know how much was Javier. Looks like Javier had to pit, as well as Muniz now hunts down Steven, and we'll get past him quite easily before the Ascari chicane, and he is now back up into P2.
Yeah, that's those fresh tires. They're going to make all the difference. It's going to feel like a brand new car right now with fresh rubber. You know that. All the drivers know that. And now Muniz needs to get on with it because he's 4.4 seconds away from Shiv and has to bring it while he has those fresh tires as well and close that gap.
Indeed.
It's that Banner and Big Lovins battling it out there for P6 and 7.
Yep, that's good call for them. As we see the lone AlphaTauri, obviously the race winner, and looks like Banner isn't. No, he wasn't going to pit. They'll have to now defend against Big Poppy, who's closing past him as well, as AJ has a bit of a connection issue. Will Big Poppy be able to get 2 into 1 here? No, he will not. He'll stay behind Big Lovins. Banner is now into P8, losing a couple positions, but Big Lovins and Big Poppy are now neck and well, not nose to tail, I should say. And we're about to see a replay of what we saw a moment ago. Will it come out better? Nope. Big Lovins is able to use his overtake and stay in the lead. Big Poppy takes a little bit look down the inside, but not nearly close enough to make a move. And Big Lovins is hanging on to P6 at the moment.
AJ has joined and rejoined, so he's probably having some technical glitches, running at P13 at the moment. Unlucky for some. Obviously, that number, Addy Striker, has those fresh boots there. Can the softs go to the end? But interesting tall task. We're not even just on the edge of being halfway through this race.
As we have a yellow in Sector 3, I'm trying to see who that may be. Looks like it cleared up quickly, though, so maybe something just dipped a wheel off the track. As Big Poppy, as AJ has retired. That is very, very, very interesting to see. I'm trying to see where AJ's car is. I don't see the Williams. Oh, the Williams is in the pit lane. That's why we can't see him at the moment. As Venom gets past Steven while we were checking that out, and Venom is back up into P3. So we have 3 drivers who have DNF'd. Apocalypse just needs to hang on here. He might get a point. As we are...
And look at the pace of Stevie.
Yep.
He's all at the back of Venom.
Well,
But he's got 14 lap tires. Well,
Yeah.
he's losing it a little bit now.
yeah, Venom, I believe, just... Apologies for that. As
That's
Venom,
right. Look at Banner here running in P8. All of the back there are Big Lovins. Big Lovins struggling right now and forming a bit of a chain behind him. Big Puppy and Banner at P7 and P8. Stevens dropping back a little bit now, falling into the clutches of the True Knight. As Xavier is a little bit behind, counting for loss. There's this. And Addy Striker has to come strike back right now. He's got some fresh soft tires. He's the only driver at the moment running on the soft tires. Let's see what Banner is going to be really close there. Unfortunately, I can't change the camera as Ezzy is not available at the moment, but I could just give you the information of what's going to be going on track.
I'm guessing
And-
Alfa Romeo will be the.
Stevens boxed. He's had enough of those tires.
Very interesting to see where he comes out. He made a good run there with the medium tires. The alternative strategy, only one of two drivers doing that such. So we'll see where he comes out here. We'll be very close. It looks like he'll come out just ahead of Addy Striker. So into P8, I think should be what he can come up with. So we have another yellow in Sector 2, and that is Immaculips. And indeed, it does look as Steven will come out in P8 at the moment.
So interesting strategy, guys. Can those softs go to the end right now on lap 16 of 27? Or is it too early?
It's what is that? 11 laps with lower fuel. It should be fine, I would think.
So everybody has done their mandatory pit stop right now. So as most people predicted, softs to the mediums. So only two drivers have gone mediums to softs, and that is Steven and Addy Striker.
Well, let's take a look at positions gained. You see Boehner is leading that with 9, and Venom with 8 up in pole position. So not pole position, in the last podium position. So very, very good from him. Steven also getting 6 with alternative strategy, so that has worked out for him. Accounting for loss and Javier are the big losers here. Both have lost 7 and 6 positions respectively, so very, very interesting how if they can fight back at all. Let's see, as Big Poppy is now right on. Well, that was an easy overtake indeed, as Big Poppy now gets past Big Levins, who's dropped down the field just a little bit now, as Big Poppy now has a 10-second gap to the cars in front, and Boehner is now looking to hunt down Big Levins himself.
Yeah, Big Love is dropping back quite a bit, isn't it? So he's not liking those set of mediums that he has at the moment. The same set of mediums that the other drivers are all on as well with tire wear, but sometimes these drivers just do not like the way that they feel, and I'm sure that Banner is well aware of that at the moment because he is closing
As
very so much.
Boehner just gives a bit of a tap to Big Levins as they go through turn 6, missing his braking point, and does so again in turn 7 and cuts way wide, so Big Levins managed to escape a bit. Addy Striker has 4 lap-old softs. Will those go to the end? That is the real question that we have to ask. He did go for the alternative strategy, I do believe, potentially.
Well,
Maybe-
Arcraft announced on the Twitch that they can go to the end.
Well,
11
from
laps
when
should
Steven pitted, but
Oh, Addy Striker. Yeah,
Addy
that's the question.
Striker pitted 4 laps earlier. So he'll have to go 15 laps as Big Levins locks it all up. Going into Parabolica, not a great place to do so. It looks like these 3 drivers will have a great little battle here. See if Big Levins can close that gap as the DRS. He crosses the DRS zone and opens it up through his rear wing. But not close enough to Big Poppy to make any type of headway.
It's very interesting with the pace at the moment. You're looking essentially at everybody on track, really running in the 123s and the 124s. So that's the pace that everybody's setting at the moment. Late 123s and mid 124s.
Indeed. Looks like, actually, Synth and Accounting for Loss are close onto each other. I don't know if that was Accounting for Loss getting past. It looks like it was. So Synth dropping further back. As True Knight now is closing up on Venom. So he is fighting his way back up the field as well. And this should be a good battle here for that lowest podium position.
That's the Renault driver of True Knight. Trying to crown himself, trying to be third, shall we say, by the Queen, but unfortunately, Italy is not ruled by a monarchy anymore, at least.
When did that? Well, I'm guessing Mussolini put an end to that. if I had to guess.
Well, as in you're the Wikipedia, you should know.
Well, I don't have all the answers, just some of them.
Well, does True Knight have the answers? No, he doesn't, even though he had at least 10 or plus kilometers. That's right, kilometers. Forget miles. Nobody uses miles. No offense. And he has to kind of work it all out and try to get it done again. Plenty of time, but he's got 6 kilometers to do it per lap.
I will say that was a very professional segue there. So congrats for that. Those are worth the big bucks. As True Knight does get on those inside curbs there of turn 6. Those can be tricky. You do want to take a lot of curb here for turn 7 as he dips it into the gravel. And that, it was a bit scary, I'm sure.
That's a little bit too much curb, you think? He's going to get the DRS still.
Yes, he will, but I'm sure his heart was in his mouth for just a moment.
Further back, the Big Poppy train is forming. He's got Big Lovins and Venner.
He passed both drivers earlier on, but is unable to extend that gap. The help of DRS is allowing Big Lovins to stay in the hunt.
But I still think that True Knight is in the hunt at the moment, the closest battle on track.
Yes.
With Venom. Now we should be able to get the huge gain. Let that letterbox open, and there's going to be Renault Power versus...
Tremendous speed difference. And Honda, that's the reason why they're leaving F1, because they get passed by Renault. And, ooh, yes, is the answer.
Too soon there, is he too soon?
As Big Lovins is now right on the back of Big Poppy, makes an easy dive to the inside, but locks up both tires. They're locked just a bit, both going over the sausage curbs, and Boehner is, thank you very much, and away he goes. We're going to have to watch a replay of that. Let's take a quick look.
I want to see that replay.
Let's take a quick look at that replay.
Looks like these cars are on trampolines through there.
Quick cut to the inside by Big Lovins. Bit brave and adventurous, though, locking up both front tires. Big Poppy touches him just a bit. They both are hopping like jackrabbits over those curves. And Boehner swoops around the outside. I want to see that one more time. That was a... I
want to play that. This is a highlight reel right here.
I don't think I've seen two F1 cars jump around like that quite so much.
Oh.
Let's take... There it is. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And you even have the music from the man to commentate over that. Good call. Thank you very much. That's so entertaining. Thank you guys for hopping around the track like that.
Yes, for sure.
Put it this way, it's keeping us jumping up with entertainment.
That's
jumping
right.
with joy.
Yep. As Big Poppy now is looking to get Pat on Boehner, who took advantage of those mishaps in front. Dipped the wheel into the grass, so he has a bit of a dirty tire. But he's able to stay ahead at the moment, but that DRS will now open up. You can see that red light flashing as he's harvesting and not spending his ERS, going to the inside to defend as they go into the braking zone. Great shot by the helicopter, and looks like Big Poppy squeezing both of them just a bit, and he will get past back up into P5. So very good move there, but he lost 2 seconds because of that. That gap to Venom now up, increased by a couple seconds from 10 seconds as it was before. Looks like Javier and Synth are battling it out at the moment, and Javier will get that overtake done with that DRS assistance into turn 1 as well. So turn 1 is the popular place to make an overtake at the moment.
Yeah,
And
thank you very much for turn 1. That brings all the entertainment. Obviously, you can go straight like Sebastian Vettel did and try to take out all those foam markers that you're supposed to drive around if you do cook it a little bit too late in there. But yeah, as you said there, who was the driver? There's that Big Puppy that had to get a little bit of dirty tire. Obviously, he got his alcohol out and washed his hands and practiced safe cleanliness in these times.
Indeed. As Boehner is really still hanging on to Big Poppy, and Big Poppy has been able to get the overtakes done, but is unable to really build a gap to help him defend. So very, very interesting. Time penalties could be a big factor here if this gap holds over the next 5 laps.
Yeah, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to time penalties, guys.
But you are that man.
Oh, I feel like I'm sticking a nail in a coffin in some of these drivers when I do that. I feel so
I mean,
bad.
is it that bad though? They're already dead once they're in the coffin. It'd be worse if you like stuck a nail in someone on a hospital bed or something.
Well, it depends on if they're allowed to be dead in certain parts of Italy, right?
That's actually interesting. So do they bury you alive then? That could be very interesting.
That's an interesting
conspiracy.
fact. But perhaps if they fly us back, if they do fly us back to Italy for the next season, we can resume that conversation.
We can take a visit.
Well, okay. Penalty situations, lap 22 of 27, because we have a bit of a gap to breathe. If Big Lovis gives us that second chance to do that, I think he will. Okay, so Shiv, currently at the moment, the Aussie, keeping it on board, 4.2 seconds gap over Munns, is leading the race with 0, and that's right, 0.000 recurring
Very nice.
penalties. Munns has 3 seconds, that's the P2 position. True Knight has 6, so he's in a bit of trouble. Venom has 3,
Ooh.
and Big Puppy has 3 as well, sharing the time penalties between the two Red Bull drivers. Banner has 6. Big Lovins has 6.
Ooh.
0 for Steven, so Stevie's keeping it nice and cool,
Yep.
running in P8.
If Steven can
And then-
close that gap from 5 seconds, he could gain a position or two here. And
He sure can.
Venom needs to close that gap, I think, to True Knight, but down to 3 seconds.
Further back to field there, P9 Addy Striker has 6, 3 seconds to Xavier, 6 seconds to Synth, and the last place driver that I cannot pronounce has 3 seconds.
Apocalypse. Like Apocalypse, but with an M.
Sorry about Apocalypse. My apologies. He's got fresh tires.
And he'll need them because he's 2 laps down, but he's had a tough day of it. I see him spin off track a number of times, but just needs, 3 more drivers to hit a wall. Some brake failures.
Yeah, down to Sebastian Vettel. It's too soon, especially in Italy. Okay, so True Knight at the moment looking in a big trouble. 6 seconds penalties. Well, Venom has 3 seconds, so he's got to get within 3 seconds of True Knight, and he can get the final podium position.
I think that gap is increasing. As we spoke, it's increased by half a second, so it's looking like it's going in the wrong direction for Venom at the moment.
Does he need the antidote? Oh, there it is. Touch another Biggles Giggles notch on the bad puns.
I think True Knight has the antidote. I think is the best way to put it.
Potentially at the moment. Who else is that? The other 2 drivers behind, P4, P5, had 3 seconds, so they're pretty much battlers to the Red Bulls,
Yeah.
sharing equally in the team. That's a good team effort.
Muniz
Split
has
those
6, you said?
Muniz has 3.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's True Knight that has 6.
As True Knight has now closed that gap to Muniz, so this could be very interesting. I don't believe True Knight has had. This is only he only had a few races in the league so far, and he has not done super well. So this could be, I think, his career best finish at the moment, as Muniz is struggling indeed, and True Knight is already on his tail, jumping out of his slipstream as down they go down the long straight. Muniz already tucking back in, collecting that ERS to deploy it. He'll have DRS, so maybe he wasn't finding it too hard to let True Knight go past before the detection point. And let's see if Muniz has that DRS, is using up that ERS, but it looks like he is out of it at the moment. And I don't think...
He's essentially got 12,000 kilometers to get on with it right now, as we're at lap 27, and if he has to get past, well, he did, sorry, my apologies,
Yep.
but now he has to get 3 seconds ahead of the McLaren driver if he wants to secure P2.
So a second a lap is what he needs to do. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, last lap Lando, but he's in the wrong car. He's in a Renault.
As Boehner gets a bit twitchy out of turn 2 and loses the rear and opens that gap over to a second now. So really unable to get a pass on Big Poppy over the past few laps, as we only have 2 laps to go now.
And Boehner also has 3 seconds penalties more than Big Puppy. So Big Puppy is in a big, comfortable position behind his teammate. They should slot in essentially in P4 and P5. Pending there are no 5-second penalties not served, as Lewis Hamilton is very well familiar with, as we've seen in the last race.
They need to just give Hamilton a random penalty. They need to have like a lottery box where they spin the wheel. I don't know if you've ever seen the Wheel Unfortunate videos.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Wheel Unfortunate.
Oh, well, unfortunate.
It's a pretty funny little show on YouTube that you can give a watch. But
I have to watch that
that's
for
what
sure.
that's what we need in F1 for Hamilton. as Muniz is fighting back on True Knight, trying to go up the inside and gets the move done. So they are battling it out. We'll see if True Knight can battle back at all. Looks
That's
like
very risky. If I was his engineer right now, I would say don't do it. But drivers never listen to me anyway.
No.
They never listen to their engineers. You know that for a fact. Even
Yes.
the real F1 drivers never listen to their engineers. And that was risky, but he did it. I guess he wants the pride of showing that he's going to finish in P2, and he will finish in P2 because True Knight has those 3 seconds penalties anyway. But drivers are drivers. They never give up and they never surrender.
unless you're Lewis Hamilton. My tires are dead.
Yeah, I'm not going to box now. I'll box whatever I want because
Yeah.
I am the number one paid. Well, he's probably not the number one paid person on the team, but he's certainly right up there.
As True Knight looks like he will get the move back himself before the Ascari chicane. Looks like he was thinking of lifting and letting Muniz take the corner, but Muniz didn't want to risk it either, and True Knight takes into P2, but only one
I'm
lap
so
to go.
nervous.
I don't
I'm
think...
so nervous. I'm like Christian Horner's foot right now, shaking up and down because why would you do it? You don't risk potentially taking yourself out if you're going to essentially always have P2 in this race.
Well,
I don't know why
True
drivers
Knight
do it.
has to make the lead, not Muniz.
Yeah, but I know True Knight at the moment, he can't do it. I mean, last
Yeah.
lap, how are you going to pull
Well,
3
No,
seconds?
I think Muniz was doing what you wanted. He was being really conservative and wasn't
Okay.
challenging into the chicane as True Knight was anticipating him doing. And so
Somebody listening to the Biggles, that's a first. Banner, now.
Yes. Right on the back of Big Poppy. DRS assistance, though, making up that gap. And not getting a great exit. Already 6-7 tenths down now. As Big Poppy is almost disappearing into the distance.
How far back is Stevie? Sorry to interrupt there. Stevie's 2.35 seconds. Let's look at Stevie in P8. Okay, Stevie's going to jump all the way up.
As Banner loses the rear
Oh,
and
cooked it.
he overcooks it. That we'll see if Big Lovins can close that gap. Yes, Big Lovins sweeps past, and Steven is a bit too far back, but that definitely helps him out.
But Steven has no penalties. And the other drivers ahead of him have six penalties. 6 Big Banner and Big Lovin. So Stevie's going to just go, thank you very much. I'll just jump both you guys.
As
Shiv is going to cross the line.
Synth and Javier are having a little bit of a battle further back. But Javier looks like he'll stay as we have our first drivers cross the line. Muniz does jump True Knight into P3. Venom trumps True Knight as well. Very, very interesting as Pitts P3. Let's see how it comes out further back. Big Poppy should be safe here in P5. Boehner is right on the back of Big Lovins to the line. Not quite enough time to get an overtake. And stays in P7. Jumped by Steven, who jumps 2 spots there at the end into P6. Let's see, Addy Striker is wiggling around, crossing the line, accounting for loss. Does as well, and that should be the end of the race. Synth and Javier are the last to round the turn, and I don't think he's...
Can I tell you?
I think he's out of fuel.
Oh,
Synth
he
is out of fuel.
Oops. Somebody forgot to put the gasoline, or perhaps you didn't want to pay the rate at the gasoline would be, even though it's cheap right now. But Stevie, well done, the #1 fan. That's what you get for keeping it clean. A bunch of points delivered as Banner gets the driver of the day. As you can see, cool, calm, and relaxed.
Indeed. All right, let's take a look. Well, we have some podium celebrations. Shiv really doing it. Another win in the books. He has to be very, very happy about that. He is coming up like a storm, and Brander, who has struggled over the past few races, does not have an answer at the moment and will need to look deep inside himself.
You mean as his Shiv is coming up like the thunder from down under?
Ah, there you go. And let's take a look at the final standings. Let's see here. People want to vote for the driver of the day. Shiv started first, ended up first. Good from him. Venom, really brilliant race. 10 positions into the final podium spot. Muniz there in P2. True Knight just missed out on a podium. That has to be hurting him quite significantly. Those time penalties really can hurt you at the end. 9 seconds. He picked up another one. That did him in. Big Poppy, P5, has to be happy with that. Steven, the alternative strategy, he made up, looks like he made up 8 positions. Very good from him. P6, good haul of points. Kept it fairly clean. No penalties. Let's see here. Who is the time penalty championship? Who gets the FedEx award?
Well, the FedEx Award will have to go to a bunch of drivers, actually, but they have to go to the
Yep.
P4. True Knight gets it
Addy
because he's
Striker, Javier, and True Knight.
Yeah, so True Knight being in the highest position gets the FedEx Time Penalty Awards. Good
All
job.
right, good job, True Knight. You don't get a podium, but you get a FedEx Award. We will be back in one moment with some interviews. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We have a few drivers here in the booth with us as we will interview them over their race. Let's go ahead and start with True Knight. You're battling for P2 for most of the race, but that FedEx penalty time award really did you in at the very end, dropping just outside the podium finishes. That had to be a bit painful. But overall, pretty good race.
I was in P2. I wasn't fighting for P2 because I knew of my 6-second penalty. So, but on that final lap, yeah, I went a little too wide, and that cost me a podium today.
That has to smart just a bit, but overall, I believe that's your best finish of the season so far, so that's a bit of a bright spot.
Yep, it is.
All right. Well, Australia is the next race. Do you have any confidence on that track?
I actually won't be able to attend that race.
Oh, that is very unfortunate. But in any case, congratulations. A very good haul of points for the Renault team today for you. And
All right.
good luck 2 weeks from now then.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Let us now go to Stevie. The alternative strategy was your call today. Started on the mediums, went to the softs there with 11 to go. Kept it clean. That was the key for you. No time penalties. And you ended up in P6.
Yeah, I struggled so hard on that strategy, but being clean and getting on softs at the end of the race there, when everybody else was, I think, 5 or 6 laps into their mediums, saved me. And I can't remember who was. I think it was Banner and Big Poppy that was in front of me, and I was just fighting the clock for trying to keep within the 3-second penalty, because I was every straight I was trying to look, hitting the driver in front, driver in back, trying to figure out where I was going to be. Pushed really hard on that last lap and got it. So
Well,
Yeah, good job, and that's the reason why you did too. You're the only driver, apart from our race winner, that had 0 penalties there. So, Stevie, apart from being the #1 AM fan, you also were not sent to the naughty corner, and that's the reason why you gained a lot of positions towards the end. Congratulations.
thank you.
and glad to hear your brake pedal worked. You don't need it much in Italy, but you didn't get a Vettel situation, so that's a highlight, I suppose.
Yeah, I tried to stay away from all the incidents in the turn 1. So
Well, good
Kept
job
my
with
nose
that. All right. Thank you very much, Stevie. Good luck next week. Venom. A little bit of a surprise podium, I'd say. Were you expecting to hop up into P3 at the end there?
So I kept tabs on the penalty situation for sure. True Knight was so fast in that last like 6 or 7 laps, but I knew he had penalties. So coming down the front straight, I let off the gas when he was behind me. I was like, I'm just gonna let him pass. I don't want to fight him. I don't want to spin either of us out because we're both doing really well. And I was able to at the end just burn enough DR or ERS and put it into Rich to jump over him with the penalties, but did not expect P3.
So you have to be pretty happy about that. Australia next week. You think you can get on the podium again?
I'm just gonna enjoy this one for right now.
All right, enjoy that sweet taste of champagne on a Sunday night. I don't think there's all that much that's better. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Let us now go on board with P2 Muniz. Bit of a battle there with True Knight over the last few laps. Did you know about the penalty situation?
Uznałem Polaków jestem
Muniz,
obok
Mike is
tonight.
Muns? Your mic is muted. I call you Muns, but Muniz.
Oh,
We might have to
let's
go-
see.
we
Oh,
might have to go back to
wait
him.
1 second. I think wait 1 second. All right, how about that? Muniz, can you Nope.
We might have to
All
go
right,
back
that's
to
all
him.
right.
I think he's muted his mic himself.
I think I had muted him accidentally, and I undid so, but it's all right. Okay, let's see here. Then I guess we'll go on now board here with our race winner,
Aussie.
Shiv.
What's up, boys?
Is that 3 in a row?
Is that 3 in a row? No, that's 2 in a row.
2 in a row? But I think that's your third win of the season, is it not?
That is correct.
All right. Well, it's basically 3 in a row. And you, Brander, you last week you said you weren't sure if you'd be able to maintain this winning streak or these high point finishes, but you've managed to do it. Alfa Romeo is living high on the hog at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's not too eventful for me. I think managed to get lucky and get in a position where I wasn't under threat of DRS, so just time managed the whole race, and I think everyone behind me got caught up squabbling a little bit, so just focused on minimizing penalties and finishing the race. It worked out.
You did 10 laps on the softs, and then you went 17. Your pace was very good at the end of those softs. We were kind of like debating how far you could go. You did as exactly what you'd mentioned, the 10 laps on the softs, and kept the pace in. I believe the virtual safety car came at that point or not. I can't quite remember. Either way, you made it work, and obviously not being sent to the naughty corner, getting any penalties, is the reason why you finished 5.7 seconds ahead. Yeah, and also jumping to the top step in the championship. So good on you, mate. I didn't see the shoey on the podium, but I'm sure we'll probably
That was
expect it.
prom.
That sure.
He'll need,
I mean,
he'll need to make a
Biggles, if
video.
you send me the champagne, I will supply the cherry. So,
that
Good job, mate. Thank you.
that's actually
it's just
Biggles. We have the budget for that. I don't know if we do, but
We'll see. If he
We'll,
does it
we'll add that
again,
to the
Matt-
list. We'll add it to the list.
We'll FedEx that to you.
Yes,
How's that?
of course. All right,
easy.
Muniz, are you available at this point for an interview? Got your mic working?
Doesn't seem like it, unfortunately.
Well,
All right. Well, that is unfortunate, but in any case, a very good P2 from him. Had a good battle there.
Oh, he's back. Here he is. Here is Muniz. Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
I think that's it. In any case, very good
know.
finish from him, P2. That might be the best of the season so far for him. So very good drive from him in Italy. Up next, we have Australia. Be sure to tune in that next Sunday. All of our divisions will be racing in Australia. That is a very tricky track.
be there.
It really is a street circuit. Yeah, home race for Biggles in the booth.
She'll be there. It's his home race. Can he get 4 in a row?
Yeah, exactly. He should have lots of practice. I personally, it's one of those tracks where you think it would be, it's not as tight as some street circuits, but you always have a lot of incidences and a lot of DNF. So hopefully we'll keep it clean. In any case, we have 3.1 on Tuesday. I'll be in the booth again for that, so be sure to tune in and support the drivers. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have Division 2, and on Saturday, good old Savage is in the booth for our Division 1 race. Wheaton is on Thursday in Division 2. So all of our announcers will be on the grid this week. We should have lots of exciting action at Monza, the most famous, or one of the most famous F1 circuits on the calendar. All the races are at 8:30 Eastern Time, so make sure to add that to your calendar. In any case, I want to thank all the drivers today for putting in the effort in the practice and providing some entertainment. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time to watch. A special thanks to C4 Vortus, and Adisferno and Mint Castle for the follows this evening. Much appreciated. And in any case,
Woohoo.
enjoy the outro music, and we will see you next time. Thanks to Biggles as well for keeping me company. Hope you're doing all right, man. Appreciate it.